I'm pleased at this time to call on Michael Flood, a member of the graduating class, to make remarks. Michael.
Thank you, Dr. Buzzard, and Mr. Chancellor, and President Ono, honored guests, and most importantly, this message that I have the honor to give today is for my fellow graduates. I am 22 years old, and I don't particularly have sage advice to offer you, but I'm honored that you're willing to sit and listen to what I have to say for you today. So first and foremost, UBC did not invite me here to any alleged wizardry or wisdom I possess. I, like you, am stepping into the unknown, and I'm just as scared and excited about all that it has to offer. Now, whether that be the unemployment line or the job market, I've heard really great things about both, so we're all set. The uncertainty of unemployment really keeps you on your toes, while the consistency of your job keeps you wishing you were unemployed. It'll be fun all around. No, but regardless of your next step, what we all have in common is we're all stepping somewhere a little bit uncomfortable. We wake up tomorrow with less immediate responsibility, but more looming responsibilities. You might wake up feeling a little nervous, a little scared, excited, perhaps sad as you say goodbye to some of your closest friends. Or in my case, maybe just a little bit hungover. Now, I don't actually know what is next for any one of you, just as I've never really known what has lied directly ahead for me. Last-minute planning has been a strategy I've applied to not only schoolwork, but life. And I really want to take this time today to explain to you why I kind of see that as irrelevant. And what it is that I've finally learned to just be interested. Interested. And it took me a while to realize what that really means, and it wasn't something that I actually came to discover on my own. It was a mix of wisdom from mentors, a desire for more real human connection, and a huge fatigue for that old adage, Michael, why don't you just step out of your comfort zone? I imagine many of you share this frustration. Now, in the summer between my first and second year, I lived with a family who spoke but a word of English in the Andean region of Peru. I had a hard time getting to know anyone. I didn't want to just befriend passing tourists en route to Machu Picchu, and I began to miss this place here, and my home in New Brunswick. I went to my older brother, who I consider to be quite a social guru, an extrovert, and I ranted to him about my inability to really connect with people. He sent me 2 words. He said, be interested. I put down my phone after reading this text and thought to myself, well, this guy is incredibly useless, all right. But I listened, however, and it worked. A year later, I spent my summer in Toronto. I worked in a downtown tower as an intern, and there were 50 stockbrokers on my floor, each 20 years my senior. I was uncomfortable. Beyond that, the city petrified me and felt lonelier a place than my hometown of 10,000 in southern New Brunswick. I reached out to Ben, my brother, once more. Be interested, he said. Again, this guy is useless. No, but I thought about it more this time. I tried it in practice. I joined a volleyball team. I hate volleyball. I Googled Toronto-based companies that interest me and asked company leaders out for coffee. To my surprise, a few said yes. I listened. I started to ask questions. I met so many people and I was inspired by so many stories. I came back to the office I worked in and I asked my superiors more questions. Some of them became great friends. And rather than just rambling on to them about my exotic summers, as I do for you now, I just listened. Coming back to this place in the fall, I really saw the potential for this mantra, and particularly with the people that I loved. What I learned being interested really means is listening. Not just hearing someone out, but listening. The difference is that when you are interested, that when you listen, you start to understand things on a deeper level. Now, many of us here today have suffered devastating losses in the past few years. Many continue to suffer from depression, anxiety, loneliness, and discrimination. Perhaps the best thing that we can all immediately do is to be a little more interested, to listen with our hearts so that we don't only hear their troubles, but we understand them. Now, someone mentioned to me recently that the 3 most powerful words in the English language might be, tell me more. Be interested. It's a simple idea, but it is a powerful one. Now, on behalf of Alumni UBC, I have the great honor of welcoming all of us into a community of alumni that is more than 325,000 strong. people who are all trying to make an impact on the world. So make sure you stop by the alumni tent after the ceremony and check out what it's like to be a member of the UBC alumni family. So finally, there are 7 billion stories out there. No one is better or worse than our own. They just are. On a day like today, we will all have the possibility to share our stories. Perhaps our greatest responsibility going forward is to learn to understand those of others. Thank you and congratulations.